today is an exciting time to be in technology. The ubiquitousness of technology is such that it can be used to solve all kinds of problems. The young professionals who are in industry today have this exciting opportunity to solve these problems. However, in today's age of social media, there is a ton of information coming at us from 100 different directions. One of the things that is happening as a fallout of all of this is that thinking is becoming very shallow. But these exciting solutions which are possible in the new world are going to happen with deep thought. And we believe that this is the skill that the new generation of students and professionals need to embrace.
So we felt that if we have to make a difference to students, we want to contribute back to the students. Can we build them for the real world? Can we build those skills in these students? From that's where this idea of Deep Blue emerged.
And the reason we called it Deep Blue is because we want to promote depth in thinking, depth in solving a problem in its entirety. Project Deep Blue is a contest to take a small problem, think about it deeply, and solve it entirely. The format of this contest, which is open to all college students and IT professionals, is to work as a team and solve a real-life problem, which we have picked up from different NGOs who are working in the social sector. At the end of this contest, which is a 3 to 4 month period, they have to give us a working solution for that particular problem that they pick. We actually conducted a workshop inviting 10 to 12 NGOs to participate, and out of that, we have picked 6 problems which we believe are challenging. At the same time, they are small enough, but they do require deep thinking to solve.
Next step was reaching out to the students and telling them about this idea of this contest, how it is happening. So in Mumbai, we reached out to over 35 campuses. There's been a lot of excitement, not just from students, but from the faculty, from principals. They're all welcoming us to come there. We have 100 teams which are participating in this. There's going to be a screening, and a few of the lucky ones will be taken through a 3-month journey.
During this entire process, the teams from the college will be provided mentorship by professionals at Mastech. We'll have workshops on design, on usability, on coding, on design thinking, all of these different facets which are needed to put together a deep solution, we will help the teams with.
This term that we hear a lot today, startups. You find that there's innovation which is happening in startup culture. You find that there's a lot of creativity that is flowing in the startup culture. You find there's a lot of teamwork which happens in this kind of environment, and they do disruptive thinking. Now, all these things to be provided to students in a very safe space. So you can actually work almost like a startup on an idea in a very safe space, take a real world problem and solve that in depth.
It's a huge learning experience for them. They will right away get an exposure of working under an industry expert, and through their guidance they will actually achieve more than what they could have achieved during the college tenure.
As an organization, Mastech is also very socially conscious. It's one of those values that we hold. The foundation, for example, has a division within itself which looks at how IT can transform the NGOs.
I must say this, that many of the NGOs are much better users of technology than large corporates. And the reason for that is very simple. When you're running an NGO, you are constrained for resources, constrained for professionals, because you are serving the poor in remote areas. And for all of this, you need to have creative ways to solve problems. So NGOs do use technology quite well, and many of them are using leading edge technology. So NGOs by itself does not mean that the problems are less complex or they do not understand technology. So I think that is a myth that we would like to shatter. But we also believe that the youngsters of today carry a sense of idealism, and they will find it challenging, they will find it meaningful, they will find it purposeful to create a better India using technology. So this is our way of exposing the youth and bringing their energy to bear on problems which are of paramount importance. Some of the NGOs that we are covering are The first one is called Sneha. They are doing work in the area of malnutrition, domestic violence, and they do a lot of work in the slums of Dharavi.
हमको फील्ड में जाकर इंटरव्यू लेना पड़ता है. बेनिफिशरीज हो गए, वेंडर हो गए, डॉक्टर हो गए. वो इंटरव्यू होता है 1 घंटे का भी हो सकता है, 2 घंटे का भी, कभी कभी 4 घंटा इंटरव्यू चलता है. जिनको जो कंफर्टेबल है, जो लैंग्वेज है, वो लैंग्वेज में वो लोग इंटरव्यू देते हैं. हमारा प्रॉब्लम ऐसा होता है कि वो इंटरव्यू करने के बाद वो जो भी रिसर्चर है वो ऑफिस में आएगा इंटरव्यू लेके, फिर उसको वो डेटा जो भी उसने वॉइस रिकॉर्ड किया उसको सुनकर टाइप करना होता है. तो हमको ऐसा कोई सिस्टम चाहिए जिसमें हमारा वॉइस ट्रांसफ़र होकर टेक्स्ट में कन्वर्ट हो जाए.
It has to be done in the local language, so it's not a general speech to text. It is, the ability to understand keywords in the area of maternal health. The second problem comes from a very well-known NGO which works in the remote areas called Mahan Trust. They have field workers going and examining young children between the ages of from newborns to about 4 years, 5 years. And one of the biggest problems they have is when it comes to young infants, how do you measure height? So what they're looking for is a mobile application that would measure height accurately. With this, the field worker would instantly be able to decide whether the child is malnourished or not. The third comes from Teach for India. One of the things that, in government schools, the children and the parents are entitled to is a lot of facilities. They are supposed to get classrooms, they're supposed to get toilets, and so on and so forth. However, these benefits may or may not actually be in proper condition, they may not be delivered on time. And what Teach for India is looking for is what they call as data for social impact. That is, anyone who visits the school should be able to, on their mobile app, can all log information about that school back to a central database so that they would be able to map and say what facilities are completely available, what facilities are not available. With that data, then they can begin to take action. The fourth problem that we have is from an NGO called Swasth.
At Swasth Foundation, our mission is to help make a healthier India. And the way we are doing that is by running low-cost clinics for the urban poor, which offer high quality services at about half of the market rates. So we are now serving 1 lakh of people a year and more. And it's almost impossible for somebody to always call up people to seek their personal feedback or to check on how they're doing. So I wish if we had a system that could reach out to each and every patient that walks in and that is able to check on them after a period of time to see whether they've been able to achieve what they planned to after visiting the doctor. Then that would be my dream system for Swasth.
The fifth NGO that we have chosen is MESCO Trust. The way MESCO Trust funds its social activities is by collecting waste newspaper or clothes. So they collect all of this, sell it, and whatever funds are raised from that, they use to carry out their social sector activities. The key problem they've been facing is that the amount of waste they are collecting is not large enough, and the costs of collecting it are going up continuously.
It's only trust that today we have that they're really going into the market and they're hitting the numbers every day and coming back with the exact number of kgs. The complexity is also one more thing is we don't know whether they're selling some few kilos in the roads itself while coming back. So I wish we have a system where it's a win-win situation for me as a head of organization and also win-win situation for the team that they feel that they also are not being mistrusted, but they also feel that this is one way of increasing the sales and one way of controlling the kind of drainage if there is any.
Sixth and final problem that we've chosen in this problem set is a problem which is a very common problem faced by many NGOs. So there are 4 NGOs who have this problem really. So the problem is a simple attendance problem. Okay. People who are delivering education in remote areas want to make sure that how many students showed up for the class, did all the teachers show up,
And every year we are addressing 2,000 children dropping from the school. I wish to get the information probably within 2-3 days the child has certain problem or certain absenteeism. So I can immediately diagnose it, troubleshoot it and ensure the child back on the track.
I'm actually expecting a few solutions that come which actually get implemented on the field and we make a difference to the lives of people.
some of these solutions could literally change the world. We have a problem that solves the problem of malnutrition among children. If we can prevent that, if we can help the counselors on maternal health, we have a healthy India. We could have a much better educated India. And if we can fire the imagination of the youth to take on these challenges beyond just the Deep Blue project, maybe in a short time to come, we would have possibly a few startups coming out of these things. This is not a one-time journey for Mastech. This is something which has to be done every year. We would like to foster this deep thinking, innovation, and serving the social sector as strong hallmarks. We think that this contest will produce overall not only great applications, but also great youth who will take on the challenging problems of the future.